I just discharged a bit. I felt it.
Ew.
Yeah.
The life of a girl.
Yeah, it was all good, and then I was like about to sit down, and it was like,
Ew.
yeah.
I mean, I had my period. So
Yay! Congrats.
I know. Honestly, I was actually happy that I got it.
Dude, I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's what.
When you're not on that BC, it's like every period is a fucking blessing when you're
I
having
know.
sex. It's like,
I'm not even gonna lie. I was nervous. I'm gonna say it. Have sex with a Scorpio.
I could glute bridge your dad.
I'm naked. Hold on. We will be flicking the beans to that.
But she's tatted and I take meth. Is somebody in your house right now?
But you know what? Fuck your ass.
Yeah, I had sex last night.
You can make your own money. You can literally have your own job of your dreams. You can own your own house. You can own your own car. You can pay all your fucking own bills. So what is that man? That man is sex and a best friend, and that's it.
I heard nothing but the truth.
Because like I have like a period tracker, and I have like an Oura ring, and like I have all the things. I don't have it on right now because it's not connected to my phone for whatever fucking reason, but I have an Oura ring, and like it helps. It's like very accurate because it takes like your temperature every single morning, because like you know how like when we're ovulating, like our temperature goes up.
Yeah.
So it's like,
no, I didn't know that, but now I do.
Didn't?
No, I know not. Okay, here's the thing. I know a lot about periods. I know nothing about ovulation.
So okay, well, ovulation is like, you obviously like that's the time you can get pregnant.
Yes,
Right.
But when I hear the word ovulation, I think of like an alien, and I think of like an alien like impregnating something and like the fetus of it. Like in my head, that's what I visualize.
Yeah, so it's
Like a
just
sack.
it's just when your egg gets released, right? So like it's like kind of like that's the time that the sperm would meet the egg. So like if you had sex and they came inside of you, that would be your most optimal time
because
to
it's
get pregnant.
closer. It doesn't have to go as
Yes.
far.
Yes.
Okay.
And
We're
I believe,
educational
and like
podcast.
it's like, and it's released, like it's not up, like whatever. Anyway, so like, here we
Right.
are. So
It's not in that tube.
yeah, I guess so. So I don't know like the exact place it goes to, but and then that's the point of like your period, because then once if it didn't have the sperm, then
It drops.
it drops, and then you get your period, and it's a whole thing.
And then that lining is shed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
okay.
That's how that all works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was, so like since I don't take birth control, but even like I've been tracking my period just to like see kind of like when I'd get it, and like obviously just for myself to like know when I'm gonna get it, but it's never consistent anyway.
Yeah.
And I was nervous because I did not have my period for 4 days when I was supposed to. But I've been so fucking stressed in my life, so I was like, it's just that, like, whatever, it was fine after 4 days. But that made me more stressed.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Stress might take my period away, but like, why? Because now I'm just more stressed.
Yeah, it brought mine way
It's
faster.
counterproductive.
Yeah.
If you want to ask me.
I agree. Yeah, periods are crazy, man. Super crazy. I wrote a couple things down for today because there's been a lot happening in the world and in in my brain. The first thing I wanted to talk about isn't funny at all. So I kind of wanted to get it over with. But I feel like we should talk about it because we're in Nashville and it's going on.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, I just want to talk about like the Rylie Strain situation.
Also, there's a girl who's missing now too.
Well, she's been missing. But they found a woman's body in the river yesterday or 2 days ago. And at first people were thinking it was Rylie, but then the person's body had a maroon shirt on and it was the same outfit, I believe, as the woman who went missing. So they're thinking that might be her. But I don't know if they've identified the body yet.
That's so scary.
But if you don't know what's going on March 12th, somewhere around there, it was like the Friday of the going on to the second week of March. A kid from a zoo was here on like a fraternity trip and got thrown out of Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway. And then there was a couple of security cameras that caught him. And then after that, he like vanishes and has been gone and been missing still to this day. Nobody knows where he is. There's been so many freaking like, I have issues, but I also have like, I think sometimes it can be a good thing with like the crime junkie people on TikTok and whatever trying to like solve it. I think there's a lot of like negatives to that, but also I am very much ACAB, and I feel like the police don't really give a fuck about really anything, especially in Nashville. I've never had good like run-ins with the police here. Every single time there's been an issue and the police have been involved, like with me personally, it's always been terrible, and they don't really fucking care. So I do think sometimes it can be a good thing when people get involved from social media. But anyway, so he's been missing. He still hasn't been found. His parents are still here. They've been here since the day that he was reported missing. They drove down. But he's from Mizzou, but he's originally from Springfield, Missouri, which is where I was born and which is where like the majority of my family live. His dad is neighbors with my grandparents. Right? Like such a small world, like weird
That's crazy.
thing. And I was talking to my grandma the other day and she was telling me like, oh yeah, they live right behind us. Like they have like their fences in their backyard share basically. And I was like, oh my God, that's insane. But yeah, it's just been this crazy story. Most people are theorizing that he could have possibly fallen into the river because that's where his like phone and Apple Watch last pinged was in that area.
Right, but my thing about that is, okay, like I also know like that street, if you've ever been on to Nashville and like walked in that direction, like it's really low. Like the railing is like hip height on like an average sized man, and he's pretty tall. So
yeah,
like
6'5",
right.
6'6".
But my only thing about that is like there's also, it's like a drop and there's rocks and there's other things like underneath
the river's
there.
not high enough. That's what I
Right.
thought.
But also if he would have fallen, don't you think that there would be like some sort of like blood or hair or like a rip of I don't know. I feel like there'd be like something.
Yeah. The ground would be disturbed or whatever.
Right. Like there'd be something of like an indication.
Yeah.
That like he fell there.
Yeah, exactly. And so also what police have said is if he did fall in the river, the rate at which the current was going, his body would be like could be 122 miles away from by now, and they're only checking in a 14-mile radius of that area. Right. So even if they keep combing that same spot, it's like
also that river's so fucking nasty that like
yeah, it's super murky. You can't really see anything. But yesterday, 2 girls who were like TikTok true crimers or whatever were like out there looking just for anything in that area, and they found his debit card right there, literally like almost in plain sight in the area of literally where his phone was last seen.
Which is weird.
So
how did no one already see that?
Well, there's been 2 things that have been brought up because of that. One, the police really aren't fucking doing shit, which, like I said, I would not put that past the Tennessee, the Metro Police specifically.
Yeah. Also, that's like not what they're like used to be honest. Like,
yeah,
not in like a mean way, but like that's not like they're used to just like having to go
deal with drunk people,
drugs and prostitutes and drunk people. Like that's
and so, or the other theory is somebody dumped his shit, like they went through his wallet or whatever and were like, I don't want this credit card, like because like paper trail kind of thing, and just like threw it over, because there's also like a massive homeless camp in that area. So that was like a theory, like they just like found his wallet or something, but no other of his like personal items have been found. It's just his debit card. So like his wallet and like his ID and like all that other stuff is like still not there. So I don't know. It's just such a wild story, because we talk about all the time, like on here, just like how scary the world is and whatever. And specifically like 2 episodes ago, I think we talked about how like men just can like exist and whatever. But I mean, this is an example of a 6'5", 6'6" man vanishing in thin air, and police are just not even willing to yet state that it was like malice or whatever, but people are like begging like the FBI to get involved, or like the TBI or somebody, because they're like, at this point, like I don't think this is an accident. Like if it was an accident, his body would be right in this area.
That's what I'm saying. Like if he just fell, it would be a thing like that.
Because the river's too shallow right now. Unless he literally jumped in the middle of the bridge into the water, he wouldn't have hit the water from where his phone last
But
pinged.
also the craziest thing to me is that like there has to be more footage somewhere.
Right.
Has to be more footage somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But like in my opinion, because I'm such like a skeptical person, is that like they know at a different level what happened. You know what I mean? Like they're not telling people, like they like know something.
That's kind of how I feel about
or like they don't have all the camera footage out yet.
Yeah.
Because and they're just saying like this is all the camera footage we have, but like really in like 3 months from now they're gonna be like, oh, we had this too.
Yeah.
Like because that's exactly how like the Idaho murders are. Like oh, we didn't know nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but like they know so much.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I just feel like they're not telling us, like they're withholding a lot more than they.
I think also like the bars in that area too are probably a bit resistant to sharing stuff.
Well, Luke Bryan's hasn't been, because that's what the bar he was at.
Yeah.
Hasn't been open since then. Well, they may have opened up this past weekend, but they were closed for at least 3 or 4 days after the incident.
Mm.
And I don't know if that was for like just, you know, their condolence type purposes, or if it was more like they weren't allowed to. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that all works.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because also like the laws for like alcohol and stuff, and like
That's
the way
what
that
I'm
it works,
thinking.
like I know a little bit too much about it, but
Yeah.
like the craziest part is that those bartenders will be held accountable if they have no other way to like prove his death.
Yeah.
Like if he's dead, and then they just think that he was drunk or like whatever, which it doesn't look like that. It looks like he got roofied by the way he was like walking and stuff. Like, but it wasn't giving just drunk, which, and honestly, like being roofied in downtown Nashville is a serious thing, and it's been happening so much recently. Yeah. So
regardless of who you are.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't
guys,
matter.
girls,
like
it doesn't matter.
It's bad. And like, I don't know what, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, some girl came from downtown into the bar that I work at, roofied.
Mm-hmm.
And like we took care of her, because that's obviously just like, I'm not gonna not do that. But
yeah.
I think it's crazy. Like she stumbled in there. Whole weird story actually, but I don't know. I just think that like if you're coming to Nashville, it's a lot of fun, but like be fucking safe, because that's really a thing. And according to that too, like they were only out at that bar. They only were at Luke Bryan's for like a drink or two.
He only bought like on his credit card statement or his tab, which that doesn't mean a lot to me, because like when we go out or with anybody else goes out, it's like you kind of go round for round of like people buying. So like the fact that he only had one drink on his thing didn't really, I wasn't like, oh my God, he only drank one drink. Like he could have easily had like 4 or 5 drinks while he was there and other people paid for it.
But they have cameras of that. They already know. They can see what he had, what he consumed, what he didn't. That's also probably why they were closed the next day, for like going through completely scrubbing their surveillance to be like, who put something in what? Because like if it was the bartender, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
But like,
well, as you should be. Like if you're fucking roofing people on your job.
No, absolutely. Like, I'm not
jail.
I'm not saying that like
yeah.
But like also if like you overserved him, you're also fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
which I think they're really covering their asses on that by being like, we only served him 1 drink and 2 waters. Like they made sure to put that statement out.
Well, absolutely, because that it goes back to the establishment. They could lose their liquor license, and also that any bartender that would have served him would lose their license, and honestly can go to prison.
Yeah.
Like they would be tried for his murder.
My thing is though, like the people throwing him out were the bouncers, which Nashville also is notorious for having horrible people doing security, doing bouncers, and actually last year just had to like create a law to actually train these people, because there was no regulation, there was no background checks done on these people, and a guy got beat to death at a bar by a bouncer in a group of bouncers. And then the same shit kept happening downtown, because they were hiring just like very bad, violent people, because they didn't care. They were just like, oh, we want somebody who looks big and tough. And they were like people who are on like power trips. And like literally one of my friends got punched in the face in an elevator. And she was a girl with her brother by a bouncer. It's because, so that's another thing I'm like, something about this is not adding up.
Well, yes, true. But also for the bouncers now, like in Tennessee, as of like, was it, like December or January, like you had to have like you have to be like certified.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like that law just went into place like this past year because that kid died
Right,
and his
no,
parents were like, hello, why are these people not being trained? Like this is crazy. But I don't know. I feel like something about it is sketchy, and also the fact that like there's so many contradicting statements happening. It's just like one of those things where I don't know.
And also the hard part, I'm not trying to like come at his friends at all, because like obviously if they kick him out a different door and then like they're not letting you go out that door, which is weird.
But then Luke Bryan's bar came out and said that that wasn't true. So that's why I'm saying like somebody here is not telling the truth. And is it the friends or is it the
But my thing about the friends is they're boys.
Yeah.
In no, like, okay, Emily's gotten kicked out of bars and I've been with her. I'm leaving immediately.
Yeah.
My eyes are on this bitch. We're leaving together.
Yeah.
That's how it's going. I don't care
the
what.
The only time that we were, quote, separated when I got kicked out of a bar was because Kellen was literally like coming back from the bathroom, but I was with other people still. Like I wasn't like by myself.
Yeah.
And like it was within like 20 seconds of me getting thrown out. She like looks over the edge and was like, okay.
Like, here we go. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
As a girl, like we're leaving.
Well, also my first instinct is like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Like I'm like looking because I'm like, I don't want to be here by myself either. Like what the fuck?
Right.
Like,
No, exactly. But it's also just like, I don't know. I feel like as a girl, like you're like.
It's girl code. Like you would never just leave somebody.
Where I feel like guys, like, you want to leave? Go ahead. You can leave. You want to stay? Go ahead. You can stay. If you get kicked out, you got kicked out. Like, not my problem. Like, I just feel like that's how that works. Like, guys are just kind of like,
Yeah.
Because again, like they're not truly friends. So like
100%.
So I feel like a part of it was like, oh, he got kicked out.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
And then they realized after a while when either like one of them tried to like reach out to him or like didn't hear from him or like whatever, it was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And then it snowballed from there.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, typically guys like you're not looking out for, oh, he got kicked out, so we're trying to run after him and like do it. Like, I don't know. I think that's very
especially they're a bunch
of
of like college kids who are on their spring break trip. They're seniors, whatever. They're with their whole fraternity.
Right.
And all of them went home the next day, like back to Mizzou or whatever. And their fraternity put out a statement saying that like the members will not be commenting on this. So that's also kind of like,
I respect that. Like, they're not going to comment on it because also it's like there's so much legal shit that they're going to be in. And like,
I just thought it was interesting that the fraternity as an entity made that comment.
Well, yeah, because it was like a fraternity trip.
It's just
I
like,
don't know, something is very fishy about it.
And just like dark. Like to me, it seems like something really tragic happened and somebody either got rid of him by possibly throwing him into the river, and then the current took him away and it was raining that weekend and whatever, or he's somewhere else because his body was like disposed of somewhere else or whatever. But it's been over a week now and it's just like it was really, really crazy and sad. So yeah.
And I feel like also too, like somebody knows something.
I think a lot of people know something and they're not saying anything.
But also the people that do know something, like the hard part again, like there's a massive homeless camp down there.
Yeah.
That could be a person who knows something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they've all been talked to. But also like,
yeah,
that's a real sticky situation.
Yeah, and also like there's a like especially in that area the drug use is like very high.
That's what I'm saying. Like something traumatic could have happened and that person has no idea.
Or they really saw something and they say something but nobody's gonna believe them because they're high when they're giving like an account of the situation. You know what I mean? And so it's like one of those situations where it's like, I don't know. But yeah, if you know anything or you've heard anything and have any information, I guess just like call the Nashville PD. Like, I don't know. I think that's the only people on the case right now. I don't think the FBI has been involved yet, but I feel so horrible for their family and I hope that at least they get some closure here soon.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing in all of these things is like you want a closure and of course you want a happy ending, but like you definitely want the closure.
Yeah, I mean, at least just have like like not just this like questioning constantly. It's like I can't imagine like as a parent like even being able to sleep.
No.
You know?
No.
Like, there's just no way.
And also having like been in contact with them, and like that's like that girl that came into our work and got in a strange situation, but like I ended up reaching out to her mom because that's like the only like thing she could remember was her mom's phone number.
Yeah.
And so like I called her mom, and like I felt so bad her answering the phone.
Yeah.
Because like first of all, I have a Pennsylvania number and they were from New York, so like not super like random, but like a random number's calling you, and you answer it, and it's me being like, hey.
Telling you like some of the not work. It could have been way worse, but still,
one of the worst things that like as a parent you don't want to hear that
about your child who like moved away
and who
from
is also
home and
actively
is like living by
right
herself.
now being like whatever, or like as actively having been roofied,
right?
And like
it's
hearing
not like the next day where she's calling you. It's
and
like
also
a
like
stranger.
she can't be there in that moment, and like I'm like, hey, my name is Kellen, I work at blah 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 blah, your daughter blah 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 is, I have her, I think she's been drugged, and they're like, wait, what, like at yours, like they're like, wait, like, and I start going, and they're like, she's like, Roger, look up who's like, what do you do if you've been drugged? And they're like, he's like, it's go to the hospital. And she's like, well, I don't know. Like, and they're like screaming at each other. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And like, they kept like asking me questions. I was like, I don't know.
Right.
But I need you to know, like, I have her. She's safe. Like, I'll make sure she's okay. Like, but I need you to start, like, who are her friends?
Yeah.
Can you get in contact with somebody here that can come and be with her tonight? Because I can't. I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
But like, I need to know that she's okay.
Right.
And I think that was like, I don't know. Like also seeing that like firsthand, and like everything is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because also like it just being very real to this situation of like,
this is something that's going on a bunch.
Yeah. Same
recently.
place, similar probably situation.
Yeah.
She just got away. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just like really insane and like very like also very like dystopian, because like shit just, the show goes on here.
Yep.
And like the next day it was just like maybe Luke Bryan's was closed, but Broadway wasn't.
Nope. They were open.
Everybody was open. Like,
but they were. I know that Luke Bryan's was closed because a ton of bartenders and barbacks, they come to my bar and they like talk about all the crazy shit that happens down there all the time. But they were talking about the people that are barbacks for Jason Aldean's, because their building is connected to Luke Bryan's. Like they share the same building, and they were like, yeah, they've been closed at least like the day after, or like the 2 days after.
Yeah.
But that was for sure like investigation, like not be, and that's the sad part, not because the bar itself would actually be closed,
right? Because they would have carried on like
something
like
about the restaurant industry is
happened.
that they be trucking along.
Yeah,
they don't care. No, we don't
money
close for
has
shit
to be made.
Yeah, you don't close for shit.
Yeah.
So like they were closed because they had to be.
Yeah, it's so sad. But yeah, if you know anything, hit the police.
There's definitely a lot of resources.
Yeah, literally. And if you're unfamiliar with what's going on, just type Rylie Strain into any search engine and it's popping up. Like even CBS Sunday Morning, I think, talked about it this past weekend. But yeah, really sad. And a bit happier news. Well, this is to me a bit more terrifying. Not more terrifying, but terrifying in its own right. JoJo Siwa put out new music, and she's comparing it to Miley Cyrus's like Bangers tour, like when Miley like went from being like a child star to like I'm a badass, like
JoJo Siwa wishes she could be like Miley.
Have you heard the song?
No, because I saw her doing this thing the other day. It was like when you came home from 9 hours of choreography,
when she was
dancing.
teasing it, and she
I was like, what in the hell are you doing? And the
yeah.
vibes itself made me,
oh, it was horrid. She dropped the instrumental part of the song first, and it sounded like a cut scene in Selling Sunset. And then when she dropped it with the lyrics, it was just as horrible as I was expecting it to be. Yeah, she goes, karma's a bitch, I should've known better. Something. I wish I never met her. And it literally sounds like Selling Sunset or like any reality TV show where there was like a big dispute that just happened.
And like
and
after
they're like walking away or
yeah.
whatever. And this is like the song before the credits roll at the end
and
of
then
the
like the
episode.
intro of the next one when they're
Yeah.
like now they're like walking into the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so dramatic.
Yeah. But literally like she put out this statement on her Instagram and it was like, I'm just letting everybody know that there's going to be a big change in like my music that I'm making. And she put a content warning as if she was about to like create
explicit?
an OnlyFans. Like, no, it was like sexually explicit and like cuss words and blah, blah, blah. So I was expecting
Yeah,
her
also
song,
her fans are like
baby, like children.
so young.
Yeah. So, but in my head, I thought she was going to Miley Cyrus. So I was expecting like a crazy song, especially now that she's like outwardly gay. So I was expecting this song to be like her like rebrand of whatever. She has the same type of fucking instrumentals as fucking I'm gonna come back like a boomerang, like whatever that fucking terrible song was that she used to have. And just with crazy just like random sound effects happening in the background, and the lyrics are terrible. But yeah, JoJo, I was very disappointed. And even her like outfits and stuff for it are still very JoJo Siwa coded, like completely rhinestoned craziness, like looks like you got it from like Payless and then like rhinestone the fuck all over it.
Yeah, my thing is like also all the cutoffs she's wearing recently are crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She's like got a bunch of tattoos and was like, I'm an adult now, but still is like acting like a kid.
No, exactly. She looks like she found like a fun flash tattoo artist who like had a whole like flash sale, and she's like, give me everyone.
I thought it was Inkbox at first. I didn't think it was real because also like the coloring on it looked very lived in.
Oh, it's
for
not
some
cute.
That like are fresh tattoos. I was like, those don't look real.
I don't know. Something about her is a little off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what happens though when you're like a child star or whatever. Like you just never like, I don't know. It's like you're just never going to like assimilate normal with like adult culture.
No.
Because like you've been praised your whole life for like acting like a child or being a child or making things for children. So now it's like even when she's trying to like rebrand as this like adult pop star, it still just gives Disney Channel no longer Disney Junior, you know? And it's just not good.
Yeah, and she's a Disney adult. It's what it's actually.
Yeah,
doing.
I would just pivot from music entirely. Just don't make music.
I think she needs to give up that type. Like dance has always been her thing. Like you're known to be a dancer, stay there.
Yeah, but even that, she's like not that great.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I think she should go do reality TV. I think she'd be fucking hilarious on like Big Brother or like something like that. Or even if she did a dating show, I think she would be good at that because she's such a interesting person. And she's very like hateable. So I think she would do awesome on reality TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like people love not even a villain character, but just like an annoying ass, like whatever. Like I think she would thrive doing that.
For sure.
Music, no. She needs to quit it.
Yeah.
It's quite terrible.
Yeah, she's got to pick a lane and she's got to run with it. And for a while it was the sparkly bows.
Yeah.
And she did her thing.
Yeah.
Music. It's just giving TikToker needs to find a new career
milking
path.
Yeah, it's like how much more money can I milk out of this career before I just like stop,
drop off.
Yeah.
And I think that's where she's at.
Yeah, 100%. But I know the thing is like she could have easily just like made a song about just like kind of shitty, like I don't know, the evolution of her and like her life and whatever. And she's not a singer, so I don't think it could have been like a sing-songy type of thing. But she still could have made like a almost like a funny and like parody of herself, and it would have been good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but this was just bad.
Because I mean, okay, if we're being honest, it's giving James Charles, but
Yeah.
like James, even like I hate to say it, I would fuck with his music before I would fuck with JoJo Siwa's.
Yeah, JoJo Siwa's is just like way too intense for me.
Yeah, it's just girly
intense
pop,
in a bad
weird,
way.
like
Yeah.
I don't like it. Or like James's new song, Trash,
Yeah.
but he at least like tries to sing, and he has like always been like, it's always been like aligned with his makeup career for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think my favorite video of JoJo Siwa ever is when she's singing in her car and like the veins on her neck are like bulging so hard. She's trying so hard to like, it's like she's one of those people who's like the louder the better, and it's like, no, please tone it down.
No, actually, please
but like
don't.
her face is like is borderline purple of how red it's gotten from like she can't breathe, and like her neck is so like veined up, and she's singing just quite literally so horrible. She's like, I've gotten so much better, and then I'm like, is she trolling? Like, is this whole thing like almost like Trisha Paytas, how like she makes music and like she knows she's a horrible singer and is like outwardly like said that she knows she's bad and she just does it because it's fun. But like, I don't think that's the case.
No, I think she's serious about it.
I think so
I think
too.
she's pretty serious about it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see, what else did I have on this lovely list? Oh my god, last night I watched that new documentary on HBO Max, not HBO Max anymore. The Quiet on Set, and it was about all the like child stars from Nickelodeon and how like Dan Schneider, like in 2017 it came to light to everybody that he's like this giant creepy weirdo whatever, and then it was talking about like just the abuse and horrible things that went on in all of like all that and like the Amanda Show and whatever. And then Drake Bell was in it, and he was talking for the first time about his like sexual abuse at the hands of like one of the people, Brian Peck, who like worked for the company, and like how the whole time, like starting in 2003, I think, like they had a lawsuit against this guy, and like they went to court, and like he was sentenced and everything, and like, but he wasn't like listed on the court documents, like Drake Bell wasn't really. But like people kind of all knew that it was him who was getting abused, and like how anyways, but like it's just, it was insane to watch. And like they showed all the clips from like the old shows, and like you realize how fucking gross some of those jokes were.
I believe it. I believe
oh
no,
my god,
I believe it, because
like
that industry,
so hard
like
to
you
watch.
don't, unfortunately, you don't get to where you are in industries like that without those things being a part of it, unfortunately. And I don't understand why, but that's just real. And like also, or like unless you're like have a name for yourself already, you gotta like be privy to that industry.
But even so, like you're still gonna be exposed to those creepy people.
Okay, but that's exactly how like, and this, not to like come back to Broadway bartending and all that stuff, but like that's exactly how it is on Broadway to bartend down there and have like good shifts and whatever. Like there's creepy people like that like that are your bosses, and like you have to do crazy things to get like good shifts, and like there's like weird
like
loopholes.
the power dynamic
is like
really bad.
Still there, like it's still a thing, and like that's bartending on Broadway.
Yeah,
not even like, because I think that that's not, they're both just as serious, but like
yeah,
to me it's like, oh, it's just bartending,
right?
But like that's like child actors, and it's the same shit. Like what?
Yeah,
I don't know. And like obviously we wonder why they all grow up to be so fucked up.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, a couple years ago, like when Josh Peck got married, like Drake tweeted at him or something and was like, "Oh, thanks for the invite to the wedding," or something. Like, I don't know. Like he did something, and then Josh like went on this huge thing about how like, you need to apologize to my wife. Like this was the most immature, fucked up shit you could have done. Like blah 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 blah. And now you like look back on it, and you're like, does that excuse Drake's behavior as of recent years, where he was like texting a minor and like whatever, and since he's like literally,
but like to him, like that's what he knows.
Well, right, and he's fled to Mexico, and now is like a fucking giant pop star in Mexico. Like
what?
Yeah, he has like a whole nother career in Mexico making like Latin music.
What?
Yeah, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, just go look into this guy's career. It's crazy. He's like huge in Mexico. He's like one of the biggest celebrities in Mexico, like music wise. Anyways, but like, not that excuses any of his actions, because I don't believe that just because you were subjected to abuse means that you become an abuser, because if that was the case, a lot more people would be fucking abusers. But it was really sad. And like his dad was on the show, and it was just like, it was so hard to watch the dad just like sit there and break down crying. And because the situation was like, the guy was super manipulative and like drove a wedge between the relationship between the dad and Drake, and the parents were divorced at the time. And so he ended up, because the dad was like, no, you can't be alone with my son ever. And then the dad the creep ended up convincing like the mom, who was divorced from the dad, that like Drake doesn't like you anymore, and like he's gonna live with me now. And then the dad was like, the only way that I'll let this happen is like if you promise me that like you will never leave him alone with that guy, because like something about it is not sitting right with me, whatever. And then the mom was like, yeah, of course. But then the mom was like,
fuck you.
Within the next day, it was just like, oh yeah, you can go sleep over at his house, I don't care.
That's so weird.
It was so nasty.
Also,
and
like, I don't understand how parents can do shit like that.
This
like,
is the same shit that happened with like Michael Jackson.
You're gonna let like young children go have a sleepover with a grown man, and you would think that you could like trust the grown man, but like that's weird.
Well, and like I truly also, though, it's like I think it takes a certain type of parent to like let your kid be in that industry, knowing. True. It almost to me is like, oh, you're a paycheck and you're my way out of this shit. Yeah. Like he started working when he was like 3 or something.
And that's awful.
Yeah. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, God,
same with Britney Spears too. Like that.
No, like, well, yeah, they brought her up, and like Amanda Bynes was like kind of the focal point of the beginning of the thing, because like she was really like this child prodigy comedian that like Nickelodeon like discovered and like launched her career and blah blah blah. And now you look at her and she's on TikTok, her hair's falling out, she's wearing Amazon extensions and like has a face tattoo and like crazy, like, and it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, because also she wasn't allowed to be a kid and wasn't allowed to like live a life.
And then when she became like 16, she thought she knew everything and like tried to, you know.
Why would you not though, when you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you went from taking you yourself as a 6-year-old went from taking your family from a normal life probably to like one that they could have only ever dreamed of.
Right. And your family still has like control over all of it.
Right, but also like you for sure build a complex that you can do no wrong and that nothing, like you're invincible and like all these things. Yeah. For sure.
It was just really fucked up. So if you want to watch an incredibly sad 4-episode documentary, it's called Quiet on Set.
I watched some sad shit today.
Dude, I know. It's just I've been watching this craziest things. Quiet on Set on Netflix. Also, I watched a documentary called The Program Quiet on Set's on HBO Max or Max. The Program is on Netflix, and it's like about those schools where they like kidnap you in the middle of the night, and then like they're like behavioral like reprogramming.
I've seen stuff like that on like Netflix before. That shit's crazy. It's all like crazy. It's all like culty and like
it's just like scams basically.
Oh yeah, but like the parents believe it. They're like gonna go to be better, and like the kids are always like, I'm not getting better, and they're like, yes you are. Like, you just gotta keep going. They're like, oh, they're just next steps, next steps. Oh my God, yeah, those things are crazy to me because they're like camps.
Yeah, it literally
like they're like camps
they like market them as like boarding schools, but then they like also, none of the people there are certified in anything.
Well, because also when you first get there, that's what like their brochures are in, and that's what they show people. That's like where they have to like see each other, but then like behind closed doors, like they're not even ever staying at that place. Or
when the place that they like stay is like behind all of that, where it's like they have like 1 or 2 rooms that they let the parents see, and then everything else is like a prison. Yeah. And that's how this was. And oh my God, that was also insane. If you need like a documentary to watch to just like get pissed off at. Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are crazy.
Yeah. That was the my 2 recommendations of sad things to watch this week. That was like kind of it that I had, like that I was like, we have to talk about.
Yeah. I wish I had some more because I feel like all I did was work.
Yeah.
And work. And I had like a nice mental breakdown between last night and today. And it's just like carrying over. I'm just like,
Yeah.
So my brain is just like sad girl right now.
I feel that. I'm
So the
sorry.
vibes were there. The vibes were there. You brought the vibes of we're gonna keep everything sad. Everything was nice.
Oh, good. I'm glad I continued on that.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. Because if we had to like sit here and laugh, like I would do it. But I don't think that like I'd be like hee hee.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like when like we talked about this a couple weeks ago, how I was like I haven't been able to cry.
Mm-hmm.
It just everything
Floodgates open.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to stop.
Yeah.
Like it just
Dang.
is a continuous thing. But that's it happens. And honestly, it's a good thing. I feel like I've needed.
Yeah.
I knew it was like building.
Like an emotional reset.
Oh no, it was building for sure.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten it all out. I think.
Yeah.
We'll see how the night goes. And then.
Did you ever end up going to therapy that day?
Oh yeah, I went to therapy and I've gone back. I went back last Wednesday too.
Oh, good.
Which is good, but like,
Yeah.
still. But yeah, no. That has been my life the past 24 hours. So I feel like in my brain it's like everything sucks. Fuck all these people. Like I'm done with everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's where my brain is right now.
Well,
So
if you
now
want to get like even more angry, you should watch
those things.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
The program's good. It's really interesting because the girl who directed it went to that like boarding school. It's called Ivy Academy or something like that. And she started making this documentary 10 years ago. So it's like 10 years of work. And the whole reason that she made it in the first place was to prove to her dad that all these horrible things actually happened to her there. So it's really sad and really fucked up.
No, that's actually like a lot of stories of these people is that
nobody believes
believes them because it's like the way that they were sold to them and whatever, like all the things
Yeah.
And when they come out, like they're completely different people. So essentially it worked.
Yeah. Well, because the only way that you can leave is if you work the program, which is basically just brainwashing. And like, oh God, it was really fucked up. But it was a good, I think it was produced really well. And like she did like a really good job. The Quiet on Set one, the Max one was definitely a bit more like typical documentary where it's just talking heads kind of the whole entire time. And then they'll show like either like home video style footage or just like photos from the time. And oh my God, it didn't even take Dan Schneider, whatever the fuck his name is, like a day I saw a clip of him on a podcast like today or yesterday talking about like how he admits that some of the things that he did was wrong and blah, 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 but he's really changed and that would never happen and whatever. And I was like, you made cum shot jokes on little girls' faces. And then like in every show you worked on. And like you just did weird fucking shit with like feet stuff and like Ariana Grande. There's so many weird videos of her just like doing crazy things, and you're like, as an adult as a kid you don't know because you don't know what a cum shot is, you don't know what like a foot fetish is, you don't know about like jerk off jokes, right? Really. And so like at the time you're like, oh, this is hilarious.
Oh yeah, so you're so naive, and also you're at a point too where you're so immature where you might start to understand, but it's funny,
right? Because it's funny in the same way that like saying penis was funny, or saying like fart, or typing boobs in your calculator was
so
funny.
Like you just he, and then he gets validated because he's a weird, gross man. That
and then you realize it's like an adult man writing these jokes and having like kids do it, and then you're like, oh. And their parents were just like okay with this. Like I don't because if not, they were like, well, we would get blacklisted from the industry because he ruled that space at the time.
Right.
Like he was making like hit after hit after hit after hit. Even when all this shit was brought to Nickelodeon, like the first couple of times they were like, oh, we'll handle it. But they're like, this guy's making us billions of dollars.
Yeah,
like,
so fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, he made a weird, funny joke that no kid will ever understand.
Yeah,
he
makes the staff massage him on set in front of everybody while they're shooting, and like touches people weird, and like he made this one girl bend over the desk and pretend she was being sodomized.
Pretend.
Yes, for like, and like if she didn't do it, he was like, "I'll fire you," basically.
Fire me.
He did. He would fire so many. He fired, and like all the women, he made them work for half of their pay if they wanted to work. So they only got, so if they had like a 27-week contract, they only got paid for like 11 weeks out of it. And he said that like this is just what you do in this industry, like when you're first starting out. And then he would like fire them and then hire like a fucking 20-year-old guy with no experience and pay him the full amount. It's just the show is infuriating.
Yeah, we love to see it.
Yeah.
You know, we love to see that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll go watch that.
Yeah, go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. I thought it was pretty well done, but also, I don't know. Some of the people they had on, I'm like, why are you here? Like, it would be like people who worked on the show. And I'm like, I don't feel like you have the right to like be on this.
See, it's funny because like, I haven't, honestly, in the past like 2 weeks, legitimately have not had time to watch. I haven't been on my phone. Like, I don't know what's going on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I went on TikTok the other day and I was like, I felt like my parents. Like, I felt old. And I was like, how does this work? Because like shit is updating all the time. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What did I touch? How did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I felt. And because I haven't been on my phone, literally, and watching TV. But the only TV that I have watched is Love Island Australia. And this last season, guys, it's good. It's so good. And I think I've recommended it before, but now that I'm like, cause I'm slowly watching it, but like, it's good. It's a really good season. Not sad. Not.
Which season is it? 8 or 9?
No, Love Island. It's our most recent one of Australia.
I don't know the difference.
Well, there's
like
Australia.
I
there's
know the
UK.
difference, but I don't know like which, like, is the UK the OG one?
Yes.
Gotcha.
There's the US. What? Okay, it's not working on my phone right now. So I don't know how many seasons there are, but this one is really good. Like, the drama is there. The tea is thick. It is spicy. It's great. It's not anything weird that Emily just talked about. It's not. It's actually funny. So I would watch it.
Where do you watch it on Hulu?
Hulu, yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to delete my Hulu, I think, because I'm realizing I don't use it enough to spend like $26 or however much I pay.
Yeah,
I also have Netflix.
I got Peacock the other day. I just paid for that because it was $50 for the year. And it has all the Bravo things on it. And I'm a Bravo girly.
I was going to ask, like, what is on Peacock? Because I know that's NBC, right? Owns that.
Yeah, but they have a lot of really good shows. Yeah. But it's only $5.99 a month.
That's not bad.
And it's like $50 for the year or whatever deal they had. So I just paid for it because I was like, I love Bravo. And even though I have Hulu, but the Hulu that I have is my friends who used to have Hulu Live. But now the way that Hulu does it is like, you can't use Hulu Live unless you're in home. You can still use Hulu, but you can't use Hulu Live. Well,
that's how YouTube TV is.
A part of that is that they have then certain networks that are blocked out if you're not on the live. So I can't watch anything from Bravo, and that's like the only stuff I like to watch. So I got it off Peacock.
Yeah.
Because I love like Vanderpump Rules and The Real Housewives of everything, and like I just love the drama.
Did you ever watch Don't Be Tardy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you seen like the crazy shit about
oh my god, the
recently?
Biermans? Yeah. Like them screaming at each other dude.
Like the front yard argument where he was like, it's like the body cam footage that the police like released. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, I don't know. But also like their whole life is a lie and it's all fake.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you as if you want to believe all of it, but it's like they're in so much debt and credit card and this and that. That's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm okay over here, actually.
God, I fucking used to be obsessed with that. That was my favorite,
Don't be
like,
tardy for that party.
Broadway show. And then, but I also really, really, really loved Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, that was my shit.
See, I haven't really been a Real Housewives girly in the past, like, 3 years.
I watched it in college. I haven't watched it since.
But I used to be obsessed with, like, the OC, New Jersey, New York. I love them all.
Yeah.
I love them all. Can't say I didn't.
Did you ever watch oh my god, what was the show? And it was like kind of like Real Housewives, but it wasn't called that. But I think it was the same people who did it. Oh my god. But they were like all like artists, like rappers and singers and
I don't know.
Love and Hip Hop. Did you ever watch that?
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
show is good.
Yeah,
like if you like a drama show, oh my god,
I
it's
did.
so
I
good.
never got super into it, but yeah, I have watched like snippets of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know. I'm here for the drama. Emily likes a good education.
Yeah.
I want my brain to be dead when I watch TV.
I agree. Like, I don't watch any American television besides documentaries, honestly, because of that reason. Like, I need an escape. Like, I don't want to know anymore. Like, I already get way too much of the fucked up shit on the internet constantly, as like political and whatever. I'm like, I can't. So like, my escapism is like other countries' media.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is so far removed from Western society. Like, perfect.
Amazing. Great.
But I do like to watch a good old documentary every now and then, just to like, especially because that's all my TikTok has been recently, has been that Quiet on Set shit. It's like clips from that. So I'm like, I have to watch it at this point because I feel like I've watched half of the show.
Yeah, like I
over TikTok.
now need to know.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I feel that. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Well, you got any more?
No, nice little true crime app.
Nice little true crime. If you have any, insight on what people should be doing around here, if you've gone to the site, if you want to help try to find him,
Yeah.
there's resources out there.
Totally. And like, just moral of the story is like, be safe and don't leave your friends ever.
Yeah, know your surroundings, and if you're going out with friends, guys or girls, like make sure you just stick with them. Like,
especially
truly,
if you're in a city that you don't know and like you're unfamiliar with, like never ever let your friend go wander by themselves. That's
never.
So insane.
Drunk or not,
no,
don't do it.
Mm-mm.
Don't do it. But I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Society 97. My name is Kelmer K. You can find me at Kelmer K on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And I'm Emily. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Starnsy. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram as well. We're at society97.pod, where you can write us in your favorite true crime documentaries, or you can follow us on TikTok, or both, please. And we are at Society97pod, no dot, where we post clips from the show.
And we also have our YouTube channel where we post fun videos every single Tuesday and the video version of the podcast every single Friday. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and go see our beautiful faces over there. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.